Mr. Throckmorton, if you'd step in front of Brittany, we'll get you sworn in.
If you'll please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in the matter before the court to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, subject to the pains and penalties of perjury? Yes. Thank you. Have a seat.
Please proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Please state your full name and spell your last name for the record.
My name is George Matthew Throckmorton. That's Throckmorton.
Sir, are you employed?
Yes.
How?
I work full-time for the Salt Lake City Police Department in the crime lab as a crime scene investigator with a specialty in forensic document examination.
Okay. How long have you been with Salt Lake City as a crime scene?
27 years.
And what is a forensic document examiner?
Forensic document examiner is an individual who examines and compares writing in an attempt to determine identity, authorship, or authenticity. This includes the examination of handwriting, erasures, inks, papers, basically anything related to documents.
So how long have you been doing that, forensic document examination?
30 years.
Okay. Did you have any special training that you've done just specifically for FDE?
Yes. I apprenticed with my father, George Throckmorton. It's about 4,000 hours of training in casework and study over a 2-year time period. I also trained with other document examiners at the Southwestern Association of Forensic Document Examiners. I completed courses through the Institute of Applied Science in Chicago. I also was trained at the FBI Academy in Quantico, Virginia, and have trained with other document examiners and attended courses and conferences throughout the United States.
Have you practiced this FDE or forensic document examination with other labs?
No, just pretty much my own.
So did you do something with the state lab in Montrose, Colorado?
I did train with other document examiners at the state lab in Montrose.
Okay. So you didn't practice, you were in training?
It was part of my apprenticeship.
I see. Okay. Have you had to maintain continuing training?
Yes.
In the intervening years?
Yes, I've attended various courses and conferences put on throughout the United States.
Have you given presentations yourself at such conferences?
Yes, I've actually been a guest instructor at the Salt Lake Community College as well as the University of Utah at the Law Department. I've trained at the Utah Post Academy helping police officers understand what a forensic document examiner is and how they can help them with their cases. I've also trained employees at American Express to detect potential forgeries, and I've also taught classes at the IAI, which is the International Association for Identification. That's the largest and oldest forensic organization in the world.
Are you a member of that organization?
Yes, I am.
Do you belong to a particular section of the IAI?
Yes, I belong to the question document section.
So over the last 30 years, this may seem like kind of a dopey question, but have you ever had the opportunity to examine question documents?
Yes, I've worked on over 1,500 individual cases over 30 years.
And have you ever testified in court as a forensic document examiner?
I've testified 61 times, 48 times as a question document examiner.
In the world of forensic document examination, are there some basic underlying principles upon which the science rests?
Yes, that no two people write exactly the same way. That's to say that no two individuals share all the same characteristics and habits. Given the proper quantity and quality of documents to compare to show that their writing is different.
Okay. Before we move on to the second one, I wanted to just very briefly go into this idea of habits. When you're talking about, what do you mean by habits of writing? I guess just have you explain it.
Habits are part of an individual's writing where most of the time they really don't even know what those habits are. They're just writing, trying to create either a letter or they're signing their name. And as they have learned to write over the years, they pick up different characteristics and habits within that writing. That could be how they cross the T as the crown at the top of the staff, medium part of the staff, or down closer to the baseline. When they write an ER combination, for example, is the E bigger than the R or vice versa? Are those two letters connected, or is there a pen lift between those two letters? Is the U more rounded or a little more pointed? So they just develop and use these habits as they write different types of things or sign their name.
So when we first learn to write, we're writing careful what our teacher is teaching us, and then as we go on later in life, we become more concerned with the content and not the formation of the letters. Those are just subject to habit.
That is correct. We learn a textbook style of writing in school. We're just trying to duplicate what we see. Again, more concerned with making it look like how we see it. And again, concentrating, like you said, more on what it looks like. As our skill level increases, we're more concerned with the content of what we're writing, whether it's assigning our name or whether it's the letter that we're trying to write to somebody. And the longer we write, those characteristics and habits just become muscle memory to us, and we don't necessarily think about how we're writing letters and formations. We're more concerned with what we're writing.
Okay, we've talked about individuality. What's the other principle upon which your science rests?
That an individual can't make all of the variables the same to make two pieces of writing the same as one another. There's always going to be a natural variation that occurs as we write our name. You're not going to find two signatures that are an overlay. There's always going to be a little bit of difference in how those look or in a body of writing.
Okay, so are there studies out there where researchers have looked at these principles?
Yes.
Okay. Could you very briefly go into this idea of individuality?
Absolutely. There was a study done called Cedar Fox out of the University of Buffalo in New York, and the premise of the study was to test the theory that no two people share all of the same characteristics and habits within their writing. And what they did is they had 1,500 participants of varying ethnic backgrounds, age, and gender. The objective was to make it similar to what the population and makeup was for the United States. They had these 1,500 individuals write some handwriting specimens. These specimens were put into a computer. They picked 8 characteristics out of the writing and had the computer analyze those 8 characteristics. It was determined with a 98% confidence level that no two individuals wrote those 8 characteristics exactly the same way.
Okay. Are there studies that have looked at the ability of a trained document examiner versus lay people on their abilities?
Yes. There's been a number of studies over the years. Cedar Fox also did a study of twins, again, to differentiate if the writing of twins could be seen as it was different one from another. In that particular study, they hired lay people to do the examination. The computer did an examination, and they also had intern document examiners look and do those comparisons. In that particular study, it was determined that the computer had about a 9% error rate in differentiating writing one twin from another. It was determined that the lay people had a larger percentage of an error rate, and that the intern document examiners had about a 5% error rate in differentiating writing one from another.
Those are interns, not fully trained. Okay.
Correct.
Now, were there some studies known as CAM being one of the authors of these studies that also looked into the abilities of a trained examiner versus layperson?
Yes, Professor Moshe Kam out of Drexel University did a number of studies, and in his studies he had lay people do examinations as well as document examiners, from intern to those that had completed the 4,000 hours of training. Throughout his studies, he determined that lay people made larger mistakes in doing their examinations, and that document examiners, starting as interns going to the fully trained, that their error rates were less than the lay people, and that the fully trained document examiners had about a 4% error rate.
Okay. Now, how could you explain to the jury what you do in this comparison process?
Yes. In this particular case, I was given...
Just very briefly, generally, you receive question documents and known documents?
Correct. I receive a stack of documents. First of all, I separate the question from the known.
Mm-hmm.
I go over each page individually, looking for comparison between whatever has been questioned versus the undisputed known samples that I receive. I compare my findings one from another. Then I evaluate those findings in order to render an opinion.
So this process, does it include digitizing the documents? Say they come on paper, do you reduce them to some digital format?
I scan everything, first of all, to preserve the evidence. Documents, I'll scan the whole document, and as well as the signatures or the questionnaire individually, and then same with the known samples.
I see. And when you're doing that, do you then do a side-by-side comparison, or do you do one a question and then knowns? How does that work?
Yes, I do a juxtaposition examination, which is comparing the question versus the known side by side, looking for similarities and differences that may be amongst the writing.
Okay. What are you looking for? These habits you mentioned before?
Yes. I'm looking for everything in the writing, just looking for, again, similarities and differences, looking for evidence that will basically say, was this authored by the same person, or was it authored by two different people? I look for letter formations. I look for proportion between letters. I look for where the writing sits within a margin. Is it closer to the right, left? Is it on, above or below a baseline? Looking for shading, where darker areas of the writing may be. Just basically looking for everything on the documents to compare.
Okay, so when you're doing this comparison, do you consider the underlying facts of the case you're working on?
No, I just look at the evidence sitting in front of me. Usually I'm asked, does the question and known writing, were they authored by the same person? So I'm looking specifically for evidence one way or another on that.
Okay. When IAI, or I think you've mentioned earlier, you talked about the Southwest Association of Forensic Document Examiners, SWIGDoc, or somebody, does somebody give you a set of standards for your conclusions?
Yes, there's a set of standardized opinions that initially was put together in 1977 by the ABFDE, the American Board of Forensic Document Examiners. In 2016, SWIGDoc, which is the Scientific Working Group for Forensic Documents, took that standardized group of opinions and made it their own.
Okay.
And that's the scale that I use today.
Okay. Can we briefly review what that scale is?
Sure. The first one is an identification. Identification means that the questioned and known signatures agree in every observable detail and that there's no unexplainable differences or variations present. The opinion below that is highly probable or strong probability.
That it was authored by that person?
By the same person, correct.
Okay.
And that means that there was either something that was different between the question on it. Might be a feature was missing, the way a letter was connected. It also might be the difference looking from an original document to a copy of a document. That I didn't have the original. I was only looking at a copy. I didn't have best evidence. So because I can't tell the origin of the document, I'll drop that down from an identification to a highly probable or strong probability. The opinion below that is a probable, and a probable means that a majority of the evidence says that the question and known document was authored by the same person. But the reason that it would be dropped to a probable could be, again, that it's a copy. Could be that there were signatures that were out of the timeline than the question document was. So I don't have maybe current documents to look at. The opinion under that is an indication, and an indication means that most of the evidence says that the question and known were authored by the same person, but again, might be dealing with a copy, might not have as many signatures as I would like to have in doing that comparison, so it drops it to an indications. The next opinion is a no conclusion, and this is basically I couldn't tell one way or the other whether it was authored or not authored by who it purports to be.
Then it continues towards exclusion in a reverse sequence. So indications it was not authored by, followed by probable not authored by, highly probable not authored by, and then an exclusion?
An elimination.
Elimination, that's the word, okay. In your process, then do you somehow try to verify what your opinion is?
Yes.
How do you do that?
Usually I'll contact a peer, another forensic document examiner, and have them review a blind examination of the same evidence that I looked at.
What is a blind view?
That means that they don't know what my opinion is, that they're going to do their own examination and come up with their own conclusion.
Okay. Now, are these the principles and methods accepted in your field?
Yes.
And are those the methods and principles that you applied in this case?
Yes.
Okay. So did you receive a question writing in this case?
I did.
Okay. Can we, I think it's been offered and accepted, 7-21.
One moment, please. Would you like to publish, Mr.?
Yes, please,
Okay.
Your Honor.
7-21 is published.
Okay. Let's just scroll through it from top to bottom just to refresh the jury. Okay. So that's page 2. Let's go return then to page 1. Do you recognize this, sir?
Yes, I do.
Is this the question document?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what did you receive? A copy or an original? And if a copy, what type of copy?
I believe on this one I had a PDF copy.
Okay. Is that a good thing or a bad thing for your purposes?
PDF is not the best quality of document.
Why is that?
First of all, obviously, best evidence is the original document.
Okay.
Next best evidence would be a photocopy of that document.
Okay.
And then PDF comes after regular photocopy.
Sure, but what is it because of is there some limitation on PDFs that for your purposes?
Yes. If I could talk about photocopies first.
Sure.
A photocopy is a distorted picture of an original document. The problem with a photocopy is it's a picture that is slightly smaller than the original document. There is, the colors are not as vivid or clear. The tones may be less vivid as well. In some cases, in photocopies, writing pen strokes can diminish and in some cases disappear. There's also marks that can appear on the photocopy that weren't on the original document. These are called trash marks. Trash marks can occur from damage or dirt on the scanner glass, as well as wear and tear on the inner workings of a photocopy machine. So it's going to change or alter the evidence a little bit. The PDF has a lot of the same problems with it. The problem with the PDF is there's no default setting. So depending on the software or where it was made, if it was made on a computer with a scanner, or if it was made on a copy machine, or in some cases a cell phone, it changes and alters the document, makes it so that kind of the overall appearance looks good, but if you were to try and enlarge or zoom in to a particular area, it will pixelize and get rid of some of the finer details that you would have in the original or in a copy.
Okay. So, in this case, did you receive some known documents?
Yes, I did.
Okay. May I approach the witness?
Yes.
I'm handing the witness what has been marked as State's Exhibit 8-49. Can you take a look at that and review it for a moment?
Yes. Counsel, my apologies for interrupting your question. Make a note of this one. We'll come back to it. I need to take a quick break.
Yes.
Please rise for the jury. Have a seat, please. Okay. Mr. Throckmorton, I need to take a 5-minute break. We'll just say until 11:40, all right? Please do not speak to anyone during the break.
Yes, sir.
I know you've done this before.
Yes.
Very good, sir. Thank you. We'll be in recess until 11:40. Thank you. Court's off the record. Mr. Burmester, are we ready for the jury?
You're. Yes.
Ms. Nestor, ready for the jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, very good. Please have a seat as you come in. Have a seat, thank you. I promise I'm paying attention to the temperature. We're trying to adjust as we go. Mr. Throckmorton, you're still under oath. Mr. Burmester, please proceed.
Sir, this State's Exhibit 849, have you had a chance to look through the various documents that are in 849?
Not yet.
Do those look familiar to you, sir?
Yes.
How are they familiar?
These were the undisputed known samples that I received in preparation to compare the signature on the true stage to the signatures and initials found in these known documents.
And signatures?
Correct.
Okay. And where did you get them from?
A majority of these documents were received from Katie's attorneys, and
Is that the law firm Bennett Tuller?
yes,
Okay. And so initially, were you hired by the trust or the Tuller or
I was
Or
hired by
Katie?
the attorneys at Bennett Tuller,
Okay.
who were working for Katie, Eric's sister.
okay? And how much were you paid by the?
I received
Bennett Tuller.
a $900 retainer to help with that.
Okay. Since that time, have you been hired by Summit County?
Yes, I have.
Can you briefly describe what is this collection of documents that are contained in 849?
There was canceled checks, driver's licenses, just various documents that Eric had authored and signed over the course of his regular daily activities.
Was there a trust and a will?
There might be amongst the documents.
Okay,
There's also tax documents
I
and
see.
receipts.
I see. Okay. Now, there were some other documents like that appear to be like photographs maybe of a journal, a mission journal,
Yes,
and a photograph of some appear to be written coupons.
yes.
Those documents, where did you get them?
I received them from your office.
Chelsea Gibson? to be
That's
precise?
correct.
Okay. How did that delivery take place?
She met me at the Salt Lake City Police Department in the parking lot and gave me a thumb drive that contained all of those photographs.
Okay. The other documents, the ones from Bennett Tuller, were they paper or were they electronic?
There were some hard copies, and there were also some digital PDFs that were sent to me.
Okay. Did you go, well, let me ask this. How many actual signatures of Eric Richins did you receive in all those documents contained in 849?
I found that there were 86 signatures and 24 sets of initials.
And did you do a comparison like you described earlier with the digitizing and then going through the analyze, compare, evaluate, verification?
Yes. I compared the question signature versus the 86 known signatures and 24 initials, looking for similarities and differences.
Okay. Were you able to come to a conclusion yourself?
Yes, I was.
And did you send that out for a verification, a blind, as you said, a blind verification?
Yes.
To whom?
To my friend in Colorado. Her name is Darla McCleary Celentano.
And was she able to come to a conclusion?
Object to hearsay.
Yeah, would you approach for a moment, Mr.
Okay. Let's take a look. Did you prepare a slide for the jury to look at in preparation for your trial, or for trial today?
Yes.
Okay. Can we take a look at, just to the witness and counsel, 8-28, please?
The witness has it.
Okay. Do you recognize that, sir?
Yes, I do.
Would that be helpful in communicating your testimony today?
Yes.
State would offer State's Exhibit 8-28 and ask for permission to be published.
No objection.
828 is admitted and published.
Okay. Let's set aside 828. Well, why don't you orient us first? What does 828 show us?
828 is an exhibit that shows the question signature at the top, taken from the true stage document.
Okay.
And the Q stands for question, 3 is the series of documents, page is page 2, and A is the first signature used on that document. The signatures, the 10 signatures below, are samples taken from the known signatures that I received and initials to compare. Again, K stands for known, 1 stands for the group of documents, P stands for the page, so page 2, and again, A is the first signature on that page that was used.
So 849 is all the Ks, and this particular one is from the first tab?
Correct.
I see. Okay. Now, let's take a look at 7-21, please. This is page 2 of 721?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, looks like there's a couple signatures on this page. What one were you focusing on?
The one on the right, the one that purports to be Eric.
Okay. And then, so did you take the one from the true stage and then put it into your exhibit?
Correct.
Okay. And that's the one that we have. We just don't have, you didn't add the date that it was given.
That's correct.
Okay. All right. Thank you. We can go back to 828, please. Were you able to come to a conclusion?
Yes.
Okay, what was that conclusion?
My conclusion was that there was no evidence that Eric authored this signature,
Okay.
and that he probably did not, and that it appeared to be a simulated forgery written by somebody who was familiar, had access to his writing in an attempt to copy, draw, or duplicate his signature and try and pass it off as a genuine signature of Eric.
Okay. I want to, we'll come back to this in 1 second. Your Honor, could the witness step down with the microphone? And let's just look at 828 for a moment. While I'm thinking of it, there appears to be one that's in yellow. It looks like it's been highlighted. Has it been highlighted?
No. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. No, that one came from an NCR copy It was a yellow piece of paper. All I did was crop the signature off that paper
Okay.
to put it on this document.
All right. Could you explain to the jury how your analysis went?
Sure. First thing, in looking at the question signature on this, it's basically EER, and the way that the E is formed starts at the top, comes down, creates the first semicircle, comes to a point, and then comes back down towards the baseline. When it gets to the baseline, it shoots off to the right. Then a line comes down towards the baseline, continues up to create the second E, which is leaning a little further over. This E is not as defined, a little more loosely made. When we get to the second portion of the E, it shoots over to the right to start the letter R, which creates a kind of a triangle formation there, then goes up and creates kind of an arc, kind of more squared than normal, comes back down towards the baseline towards the baseline, and then shoots off over to the right and terminates. A couple things that stuck out to me on this signature. This is what's called a one-stroke signature. That means that the writing instrument starts and continues all the way through to the end. There are no pen lifts. As well, within the signature, the things that stick out again is their pen lifts are not found here. If you look at the known samples from Eric, you'll notice that there's a pen lift between each of the letters, a pen lift between the E and the E, pen lift between the E and the R, and that's a consistent characteristic and habit that Eric has. The other thing, too, is the second E actually starts at the baseline. You'll notice that on the known E's, the E's start up top in a normal fashion. That they always start at the top. They don't start at the baseline like this one does. The other thing, too, to note is this R, again, where it's connected, it actually starts down closer to the baseline and then comes up. You'll notice in these E's, or in the R's, that they start at the top, like we traditionally learn how to do in school. You've got a line that comes down, pen comes off the paper, and then the second part of the R is made. You can see the staff of the R here, staff here. So a couple of things that stuck out to me that were not common among his writing, again, is we've got a single one-stroke signature instead of pen lifts. The E, second E starts at the bottom at the baseline, and the R starts at the bottom of the baseline. It was by looking at these characteristics in comparison that I was able to render an opinion that the question and known signatures were not authored by the same person.
Okay. You can take a seat, please. Now, your opinion was that it was probably not signed by Eric Richins. Why probably not, as opposed to elimination?
Because I was dealing with a photocopy, the true stage was a photocopy of a document. Basically, I'm missing evidence. So as a conservative opinion, instead of an absolute elimination, it's closer to a little weaker than that. So it was a probable. As well, I couldn't identify who the author of that signature was. In the case of a simulated forgery, the author gives up their own habits and characteristics to try and copy, draw, or duplicate somebody else's. So because I was not able to determine who was authoring this, basically I came back to that there was no evidence that Eric did it, but I couldn't determine who actually authored it.
Okay, so your final conclusion then is also that there is no evidence, that you could find nothing in the knowns that would support the question document was signed by Eric.
That's correct.
Okay. That's all the questions that I have for this witness. I have off. Yeah, there we go. It's in front of
Ms.
the jury.
Jester.
Of course, it's accepted.
May it please the court. Almost good afternoon, good morning still, sir.
Good morning.
My name's Kathy Nestor. I'm one of the attorneys representing Corey Richins.
Okay.
So I want to first talk about your, I guess we call it your curriculum vitae, which is a fancy way of saying your resume, right?
Correct.
And I reviewed that, that you gave to us. And can you tell me, sir, is there a difference between a document fraud examiner and a certified forensic document examiner? I said it wrong the first time. I'm going to get it right. Forensic document examiner is your title, correct?
That's correct.
And is there a difference between a forensic document examiner and a certified forensic document examiner?
Certified examiner is somebody that belongs to an organization that they pay and that they recognize him or them or her as part of their group.
It's not just payment, they also take a test, right?
Depends on the organization.
And in fact, there was an organization, there's an organization that accredits these organizations, and it's called the Forensic Specialties Accreditation Board. Is that right? Do you know what that is?
That's one of them.
And they are people who accredit these organizations to certify people, right?
Yes.
And if you go to one of these accredited organizations, and I'm going to just read some examples and see if you're familiar with them. The Board of Forensic Document Examiners, is that one of them?
There's an American Board of Forensic Document Examiners.
Okay. And are you also aware there's just a Board of Forensic Document Examiners?
I haven't looked into that one.
And Scientific Association of Forensic Examiners, SAFE?
I've heard of them.
Okay. And the International Association of Document Examiners, IADE?
I've heard of them.
And the National Association of Document Examiners, have you heard of them?
Yes.
And the Association of Certified Fraud Examiners, ACFE?
Not familiar with them.
Okay. And all these are groups that provide ways for forensic document examiners to become certified, and they're accredited by this Specialties Accreditation Board, right?
Yes.
And the way that they become credited, certainly they have to pay a membership fee, you're right about that, but they take an exam, right?
I assume so.
And they're given a bunch of samples that are peer reviewed by others to see if they agree that their analysis are good, right?
Correct. That would be the process.
And they do an oral board where they answer questions and respond to like on the spot testing of their skills.
Objection, Your Honor. Foundation. Is that, he said he doesn't know.
Well, so far, there hasn't been a foundation problem. Ask him whether he knows, which I think is what you're doing.
And it appears to me by your answers you know about all of this process, right?
There's a lot of organizations out there that people can join, even people that haven't been properly trained.
Right. And by being certified by any of these organizations that are accredited, that's an extra security and assurance to your customers and your clients that you've been screened, you've been vetted, and you've been certified that you're good at what you do, right?
It can be.
And you've never, ever done that in your whole career, have you?
No.
You've chosen not to ever seek certification.
Correct. Never gone for it.
And you do agree that the forensic science that you're involved in of handwriting analysis involves a lot of using your own best judgment, right?
Judgment based on experience and training, absolutely.
But your judgment, your analysis.
Yes, and I've been properly trained in order to know how to use that judgment.
Okay. And certainly you agree that not every single forensic evaluator is going to come to the exact same conclusion by looking at the exact same writing. Is that fair?
I don't know that I agree with that. It would, again, depend on how much training they've had. It depends on who they were trained by. It is possible that individuals aren't going to have the exact same opinion as me.
Sure. And it also depends on the quality of the sample you're given, right?
Correct.
And original is best, right?
Yes.
One copy later after the original is a little worse, right?
There's about a 1 to 3% distortion rate from an original to a first-generation photocopy.
And do you know which generation photocopy you were given?
I have no idea.
You know how many times it was photocopied?
No.
Do you know how many times it was faxed?
It didn't appear to be faxed, but no.
Okay. Do you know, and you never got a paper, you got a PDF sent to
Objection,
you.
Foundation.
Well, these are yes or no questions. Overruled. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. You got a PDF sent to you on email, right? You didn't even get a document.
For this document, that's correct.
Right. And if we could please bring back up 8-4 and go to the page ending in 781. I believe this has been admitted, Your Honor.
One moment, please.
Can you make sure?
Not yet.
8-4?
His report, did you put it in?
No.
Oh, sorry,
Not-
just for
Seriously.
his review only, Your Honor.
The witness has 8-4.
781, I think it's like maybe the fourth or fifth page. Let's just kind of scroll. That one right there. So this page that you're looking at, is this a page that you included in your report that you submitted to the prosecution in this case?
Yes.
All right. And can we blow it up just to the extent you can a little bit, please, so he can see the body of it? Okay. And these are the levels of certainty that you talked about with Mr. Burmister, right? From the strongest opinion to the weakest opinion.
Yeah, it's not a scale based on pass or fail, but it helps the examiner to express his opinion as
Okay.
a whole.
So it's the standards that you typically use in your reports.
Yes.
And the best report you can give somebody is elimination. I can say 100% this person did not write this, right?
Or identification, depending on,
Which one you're doing.
correct.
In or out, 100%, it's definitely not them.
I don't use percentages.
Okay, but that's your strongest.
Correct.
Elimination or identification are your two strongest opinions you can give, right?
That's correct.
Okay, and then you can also give an opinion of strong probability did not, right?
Correct.
And that's not quite as good as I'm sure, but a little less than I'm sure, right?
It means all of the evidence says, in the one you're using, that the question unknown were not authored by the same person, and that there's some feature that's missing. In this case, it's that it's a copy and not an original.
But you didn't use that. You didn't reach that conclusion in this case, right?
Correct.
So let's go to the next one. The next level of certainty is probably did not.
Correct.
Probably did not. And that is what you decided in this case, right? That
That's correct.
Eric probably did not sign that true stage, right?
Correct.
And can you read to me, or it's not in, but is it fair to say that probably did not means it's not quite up to virtually certain, right? Isn't that fair?
Correct.
Okay. And that is what you have reported with your training and your opinions, your expert opinions, that Eric probably did not sign that true stage document.
There was no evidence he signed it.
And you cannot say that Corey did sign it, right?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, by saying that, you have no personal knowledge whether Corey Richins was given permission by Eric to sign his name.
Objection.
Do you?
May we approach?
Sure.
So just to repeat the question, you have no knowledge and you weren't given any information to suggest one way or another whether Corey had permission to sign her husband's name to that.
Correct.
So you don't know that.
I was not asked that, and that was not part of the examination.
And I see you're a married man
Yes.
on your wedding ring.
Yep.
And does your wife ever sign your name on anything?
Objection.
I think we're a little bit beyond the scope of this gentleman's expert testimony. Go ahead. What's your
Okay.
next question? Sustained.
And is it my understanding from your resume that you no longer do forensic document examinations for the Salt Lake City Police Department?
That's correct.
When did you stop doing that?
2020, I believe.
And is that the reason you stopped connected at all to an internal affairs investigation against you for falsifying documents?
No.
Okay. Did you, in fact, were you submitted to an internal affairs investigation for falsifying documents?
Objection, Your Honor. Can we approach, please?
Sure. I need you to restate the question.
Yes, sir, Your Honor. Were you subjected to an internal affairs investigation for falsifying documents?
Yes.
All right. And were you ultimately exonerated?
Yes.
And was the person who accused you of doing that a law enforcement officer?
He was a retired sergeant who'd been hired back as a supervisor who was then terminated for a number of issues.
So you were falsely accused by a law enforcement officer?
I was falsely accused by somebody who had been a law enforcement officer, but not at the time they made the complaint.
Thank you for that clarification. Are you aware that the whole science of forensic science of, I'm sorry, just 1 minute. Are you aware that the whole science of forensic document examination has come under fire in the last few years for accuracy and reliability?
Objection, it misstates the source. I noticed you grabbed her memo. That is
Foundation,
no-
Mr. Burris. Are you objecting on the basis of foundation?
Yes.
Would you lay some foundation, Ms. Nestor?
Certainly, certainly, Your Honor. Are you familiar with the national, I'm sorry, I need to make a little bit of water. Sorry. Are you familiar with the National Resource Council report titled Strengthening Forensic Science in the United States, A Path Forward?
I've read it at some point.
And are you aware in that report that they concluded the scientific basis for handwriting comparison needs to be strengthened?
Yes.
Are you aware that they found there's only been limited research to quantify the reliability and replicability of the practices used by trained document examiners?
I read that in there.
Are you also aware of something called the President's Council of Advisors on Science and Technology report, the PCAST report?
I'm familiar with it. I probably read it a long time ago.
Do you remember that they expressed concerns regarding the validity and reliability of conclusions made by forensic examiners and called for more empirical testing in the area?
Vaguely.
You talked about an error rate, is that right?
Yes.
And remind me, what is the error rate of non-certified forensic document examiners?
The same as document examiners that have been properly trained.
Do you know that for a fact, or are you assuming that?
I'm assuming that not all document examiners are certified,
Fair.
and that the error rate, if they've been properly trained, apprenticed with the 4,000 hours that are required, that their error rate should be the same,
Which is what?
is less than 4%.
So 4 out of every 100 times they're wrong?
4% of the time they may make an error in their judgment.
Are you aware that the National Institute of Standards and Technology issued a report from an expert working group for human factors and handwriting examination, which found multiple problems with the reliability of handwriting analysis?
I haven't read that.
All right, you've referred to the big binder in front of you, which were all of the handwriting samples that you reviewed and included in your report. Is that right?
Yes.
Right. Is that in? No. Nope. Okay. And you relied on all of those documents in concluding whether or not, making your decisions about whether Eric's probably did not sign that document?
Yes, I reviewed all 200 pages.
Okay. Can you turn to let me see. Court's indulgence, can I talk to Mr. Burmester for just a minute?
Of course.
Looking over the documents, did you include a document? I am so sorry, my throat is fried. I know it's annoying to listen to. Give me just a second. Sorry. Looking at the documents that you relied upon, was one of the documents titled the My Princess letter?
I did review that, yes.
Right. And what was that?
It was a few pages of writing purportedly written by Corey.
By Corey?
Or sorry, no, by Eric. I apologize.
Where did you get that letter?
This exceeds the scope, Your Honor, that is not in 849.
Your Honor, I'm allowed to go to anything he looked at to form his opinion.
Yeah, I just need clarification for a second, if you'd approach.
Okay. Oh, my voice came back. So on the My Princess letter, that is something law enforcement gave to you to review in making your opinions, correct?
It was given to me as a question document, not a known sample.
And you were to review it to see who you think wrote it?
That's correct.
And can we pull up for the witness only MT4?
Your Honor, this is now outside the scope, clearly, because the foundation is,
Yeah,
was not part of
I
it.
misunderstood your position, Ms. Nestor. Would you approach for a minute? My apologies.
When you were looking at the Eric Richins handwriting samples to compare them with the True Stage signature, had you also already reviewed this document?
No,
This came after?
correct.
Oh, okay. Okay. Were you asked to look at any other insurance documents to determine whether or not they had forged signatures on them?
I looked at a number of different documents that were in question.
Okay. And did some of them include insurance documents? Other policies besides the True Stage?
There were other documents, but I don't have recollection of how they were related.
So how many documents total were you asked to look at and decide who signed them or who didn't?
Your Honor, can we just clarify if it's a question or a known document? I'm
That
lost.
would be helpful if you could provide a little specificity there.
So just to be clear, there's documents that are called question documents where you're looking at them to decide who you think signed them, right?
Who was the author? Yes.
And then there's known documents where you know for sure through some way they've been validated that that's an actual signature that you can compare.
Correct.
Right. So how many documents, questioned documents, were submitted to you for your opinion in this case?
Between the civil and criminal, probably half a dozen or so.
Okay. And the only one that you're here today giving an opinion on is the true stage document?
That's correct.
He's given, I'll just.
Court's indulgence for just a moment, Your Honor. I think
Of
I'm
course.
almost done. Just one moment, sir. Okay, last one. Were you ever asked to look at any closing documents for the Midway Mansion to determine the veracity of the signatures on those documents?
Not that I'm aware of.
Thank you. That's all I have, Your Honor.
Within the scope of cross, Mr. Burmester.
You, defense counsel asked if you're certified. Have you, once again, have you testified in a court of law regarding your forensic document examination?
Yes.
How many times?
48 times.
And if you, hypothetically, well, let me back up. Hypothetically, if you send your known and questioned documents out for verification, is your action different if you receive back information that their opinion differs from yours? Or do you just submit it?
Objection.
Sustained.
The fact that you received a PDF is reflected in your ultimate opinion, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you're, Ms. Nestor talked to you about the, that initial report, the status of forensic sciences.
Yes.
That report, do you know when it came out?
Off the top of my head, no.
2008-ish or so?
Approximately.
Okay. And it addressed not just handwriting, but DNA, all the sciences, pattern matching sciences,
It reflected a majority of the different forensic sciences.
and gave opinions about steps each of those forensic sciences need to do better at.
Yes, the individuals involved in those were to study various aspects of the different forensic sciences and then come up with possible issues and then how to address those issues to make all of those forensic sciences more sound.
And PCAST came out in 2016. Sound about right?
Sounds about right.
Okay. And it did not mention at all forensic document examination, did it?
I don't recall, but that sounds right.
Identifying an author is difficult if it's a simulated forgery. Is that what you said?
That's correct.
And why is that?
Because in a simulated forgery, the individual gives up their own habits and characteristics in order to try and copy, draw, or duplicate somebody else's. And so the writing itself is, you can't identify who the author was, just eliminate who it purports to be.
Did you find any evidence at all that Eric Richins signed the True Stage document?
There was no evidence whatsoever.
Thank you.
Just very briefly. Talked about if it's a simulated forgery, people give up their own way they write to try to write like someone else, right?
Yes.
What about people who are intoxicated or under the influence of drugs or alcohol? Does their signature change?
There are a number of factors that can affect how a person writes. Drugs and alcohol can change it. In some cases, I've seen where alcohol makes somebody more exaggerated. It can other things that can affect writing is stress, the writing surface, the writing instrument that they use, chronic pain, medications that they may be taking. There's a lot of factors associated.
THC, being stoned?
Haven't done specific studies in those, but anything that can affect motor skill could potentially alter how a person writes, but it won't change their characteristics or habits.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
I have nothing further.
Okay. May we release this witness, counsel?
Yes. that would be
Yes,
the
Your Honor.
state's request.
So you're free to go. You can talk about the case with anyone or no one. It's up to you.
Sounds good. Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
You too.
Counsel, is now an appropriate time for a lunch break.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Nestor?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a break until 1:15. During the break, as always, please do not discuss the case with anyone. Don't let anyone discuss it with you. Please do not read, watch, or listen to any report or any coverage of the case of any kind. And please don't do any research of any kind about the case. Enjoy your lunch break. Please rise for the jury. Oh,
May I ask for an additional 15 minutes, Judge?
yes,
Is that okay?
that's fine. Just doing that at 1:30.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, folks. All right, please have a seat. Mr. Bloodworth, anything on the record before we recess for lunch?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Nestor, Ms. Lewis, Mr. Ramos?
No, sir. No.
All right. Folks, if you would make your way out of the courtroom or just stay quiet, I need to do a detention hearing in another case right now. Thank you.
Clear the table.